Okay, I think we're going to start. So, first off, it's still morning, so good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. I know you didn't come for a TED Talk, unless, of course, TED stands for tacos, empanadas, and donuts. Then you would be here, right? Good, we got some laughs, it's good. My name's Audrey Dempsey, and I've been a photographer in Las Vegas here for 30 years, shooting events, celebrities, entertainment, conferences like this, politicians, including presidents. I have photographed 4 presidents, corporate headshots, architectural, and my most favorite thing to shoot is, there you go, okay. So I hope I can encourage you with some new tips and tricks that'll take your food trucks to the next level, and I'll do my best not to bore you. I'm going to show you a few pieces of my work just so you can get an idea of the kind of stuff that I shoot. And I try to include things that were interesting, but also things that were more probably food truck related. Let's put it that way. So this is one of my favorite pictures that I shot. I've done 2 food cookbooks, and I could write a whole book on the stories behind those cookbooks. This one is just, sometimes you just take stuff at an event that you're shooting and they just turn out to be really cool. So you're going to learn about that. It's all about lighting and angles and what works and what doesn't work. And I like that one. Those were good too. Sometimes you get to use a little background color on it. It makes it look more interesting. And these images I'm going to show you now are more about the kinds of things that we might be shooting for a food truck. So, except maybe not that one. That was quite a salmon dish. But this is also an interesting one to show you because you can see that there's something being poured down on it. And if you have an item that you do something like that with, this would be a good kind of picture to take. We all like desserts. And some of you do, well, we'll find out. Okay, and then this was another food shot that I did at an event. So it's not particularly lit correctly. It's all natural light from the environment it was in. And this one I put in just because I do shoot people, and I thought maybe you might know who this was. So first, I want to show you a few slides of trucks that I think work and some that don't. And this is the interactive part of this talk. I want to hear what your opinions are and what you think and why. So here's the first one. Anybody? You got to talk loud so everybody can hear you. Maybe we need some of those mics. Will you help, Bob?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Good point.
It's just really memorable. If I see this out of 10 different food trucks, this is the one that my eye is drawn to.
Why?
It looks so different. It takes hard work to get a food truck to look rounded on the corners like that, and it's straight up and bottom, up and down. It might look different when it's open for serving, but it says spam on the side, and if I walk up to this truck, I'm expecting to get spam.
Does that picture look like spam? Yeah. So nobody said anything about the cute little eyes and mouth in the front. I thought that was particularly kind of cute, So, okay. Here's another one. What do you think of this one? Just raise your hand so we can bring the mic to you.
The owners of these trucks aren't here, right?
I don't know.
I don't know what Venezuelan food is. That's the only indication as to what the food is.
Well, I think the good part about this truck, my opinion, is that there's a barcode on there that's probably got the menu on it, right? And they have their website on there, so you can find them. We're going to talk more about that as we go along, but You know, is it the most exciting truck? Not really. Okay, what do you think of this one?
I know them.
You know them? How's their food?
It's great.
Oh, good.
This is their second truck they just opened.
Bob, did you want to say something else? Okay. Anybody else want to comment on this one? There's something I want you to look at here, and that is the menu board down here. You know, one of the things we'll talk about is if you put food on your truck, it better be the only food that you sell, right? Because if you change your menu, you're not going to change your truck. So menu boards, probably better and bigger than that, where you could put pictures on it as well, would identify exactly what you're going to get. So that would be my takeaway from that. You agree with that? Okay. I think we know what they serve. Anybody got a comment here?
Oh, crap.
Yes. Yes, I think the logo interspersed with the idea that it's a crab is, I think, kind of interesting and creative. So I think that's one of the things that make a difference in your trucks is how creative you get with what you put on there and how inviting you make it look that people want to come. So, because that's the first thing they see before they ever get near your food, right? Okay. Now, this one, I have to tell you, we found this out. This is the #1 truck in Las Vegas. She's looking like, really? I might tend to agree with you. I'm not sure that you get any idea of what they serve because it says, what's it say? Something cut. So right away I went to beef. You know, usually if you see like you would expect beef, right? Well, we looked at their menu. There's a whole lot of things on that menu. But there is like a steak sandwich or something like that that's made from a really good piece of beef. So I think their reputation is more than just somebody coming and seeing that truck. Okay, now this one I actually photographed outside a bar, and it attracted me because it had lights all the way around it, and they changed colors, by the way, and they had music playing. That attracted me to their truck. And so as I walked around the truck, then I got a good look at this. Now, tell me what you think about this. This is important.
Too busy.
What else? Too busy.
They're hiding the inside of the truck.
Yeah, they are hiding inside. I had to look in I wanted to find the owner. I mean, you can tell that it's some sort of Mexican food, but there's a lot of different things on that menu. And one thing I want you to really pay attention to, and why I chose this slide, is because all of their photographs look different. There's no continuity to that truck whatsoever. So what would that say to you as a consumer that was going to that truck?
Not consistent with the food either.
Might not be the food either, right? Or it might not be good food, you know, if they can't put a good picture on there. And that's what we want to talk about. So, okay, well, that was good. Can we go on from here? Okay, so learning food photography can feel a little bit overwhelming at first, but don't stress. So I want to give you a different way to think about this. I want you to think in a different way that can make you excited instead of scared. So I want you to think of this like you're creating a piece of art. Food is art. How you make it is art. And if you make it look like art, it's really going to be appealing to the people that you're showing these pictures to or that are on your truck, right? So have fun with it. Don't be scared of it. It won't bite you. It's food. And it doesn't talk back to you. And when you're done shooting it, you can do what I like to do. I eat it, right? So Okay, so the title of this program is Shoot to Sell. Take photos that don't scare people away. Now that would scare me away. I would absolutely not go to that truck. And I didn't pick that off of anything except something off the internet that looked really bad. So, just so you know. So we've all seen it. Some poor burger photographed in the dark looking like it just got mugged. Or a taco so blurry it could be a cryptid. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds bad. And yet this is the photo that you proudly post online with, "Come get yours today." Am I striking a chord here? Okay. So this session is for food truck owners who want their photos to actually sell the food, not just document its last moments. Okay, that is your last moment. So let's level up your photos one taco at a time. You all ready? Okay, all right. I'm going to try not to bore you here, but I got to stick to a script because otherwise I go all over the place. Okay. Why food matters? Well, it matters because that's what you're selling, right? That's number one. But people eat with their eyes before they ever, decide to get something from your truck. Or if you go to a restaurant, you look at the pictures that they have for their menu. That's how you decide what you're going to eat, right? Am I right? Okay. So it's your first impression. And first impressions, you can't change it. If you got a bad first impression, they're not going to come back and say, "Oh, well, maybe it's better now." Right? So first impressions really, really matter. And it's psychology. When you see a photo of a food item that looks so delicious, your brain says, "I want to eat that," right? So that's what you want to do. The psychology of visual hunger, they call it, why people crave what they see. So in a digital world, which we all live in, whether it's Instagram or Uber Eats or Google or Facebook or whatever you use for your social media, those photos are your storefront. Because it's not always your truck they see first. Sometimes it's your digital, right? Digital footprint. And good photos increase the click-throughs and the sales. So food's the star. We're not the star. The food's the star. We're the accompaniment. And the star is not the environment, it's the food. So I brought this just to show you something fun. My husband took me to the Versace mansion in Miami, which was the most amazing place. And I did this for the manager of the room, looking to try and get some work from him and come back. And so if you notice in the background, you see a bag with their name on it, right? And this is what it looks like. I'm telling you how good that tasted. And the manager couldn't believe I did this with my cell phone. So I'm showing you this because it doesn't matter what kind of camera you take. Whether it's your cell phone or a DSLR, we're going to get to that, but anything can make food look good if it's lit right. So now one other thing I want to show you is angles. So the one on the left is a top-down angle. And the one next to it, even though this is an environment, this is another thing I got from the internet. From the side, you can see what it is. You can see what's in it, right? The bottom one is something I did on purpose. The left side is the environment. The right side is the food. Nobody cares about the environment, and that's what I was saying, the food is the star. So now we're going to get back to the cell phone and the pro camera. So how many people use a photographer or use a DSLR when they're shooting their food? Anybody? Okay. You use a cell phone most of the time? Is that a yes? Yes. Show of hands, yes? Okay. Then you're going to have fun on the show floor because I have a little studio set up for you to come and shoot some food. So, okay. So one of the things that's important is what you do with it. You can get great results with a smartphone if you know how to use it. And I don't know about you, I have a 16 Pro, and oh my God, what that phone can do. So there's a lot of apps that you can use on your phone, like they have Lightroom Mobile and Snapseed, and different things that you can do right away without having to download it and tweak it in another file. So I use Lightroom on my computer for my photography, and but they also have a Lightroom for a cell phone, so you can check into that. Using grid lines and adjusting the exposure manually on your phone if you know how to do that. If not, you just have to make sure that you're lighting it correctly. And always use your finger if you don't know how to do that. Just touch where you want the focus to be, because the food has to be in focus. Very important, right? So, and we're going to go to lighting, because lighting is your game changer. I'm going to show you, and I'm not doing a demo here because it's much easier to do it on the show floor where you can get some hands-on and we can have some lighting to work with. One of the things that I like to use are these little lights that you can get, and they actually, I'm going to show you here in a minute. Oops. You can change color, temperature. I can't put my arm like that. You can change how bright it is, different little things like this. They're not expensive, but you'll see when you come to the show floor, we can add just a little kick light to this that just makes all the difference. So little things that you can use. Okay. Let's see. Natural light is a good standard. So I'm going to go back to the Versace mansion, and this is what we ate. That's a lobster mac and cheese that was out of this world, and I think that was a big ribeye, wasn't it, Bob? Something like that. Anyway, so the picture on the right, you can see on the right-hand side, there's like a little pole in there, and that was the light that was on the table. And so you can see how the light changed the look of the image. It's very yellow, right? Because that was the nature of that light. So lighting and the kind of light that you use is really important. So I took that out and came up with the picture that's on the left. So you can see the difference in color temperature of the food. And also that we're concentrating more on the food and not that thing that's making the yellow light, right? That lamp. We could have used a little kicker on the meat on that side, but it was okay because we have a nice light hitting the first part of the left side of the meat, and it was a beautiful place to do it, and so it was just kind of fun. So natural light. We were in Panama, and Bob was flying his drone, old farts with drones here, and so the food got there before he did, and so I wanted to photograph it before I started eating it. And this was just the light that was there. I was in an area that was covered. It wasn't in any kind of direct sun, because that's a no-no, right? And just making the food look interesting. Some people don't like the, shrimp with the heads on it, but it made for an interesting picture to me. So we're gonna look at diffuse light on the show floor, but you can use different things for that. You can use a piece of tracing paper can be a good diffuser. Let's see, what else? You could use a napkin, although napkins tend to be a little too thick, and may not be exactly what you want. But those kind of diffusions will really make a difference. And then artificial light, which you're going to see on the show floor. So I'm going to leave it at that. How you position the light is the next slide, which shows you if you don't put it in the right place, you got all kinds of shadow there. So it's not the best well-lit picture, but I chose it because it shows the difference of where you place that light and the kind of shadows you're going to create if you don't address that. And so looking at light is looking, how does that plate sit with the light that you have? And if it's not good, what do I need to do to change it? So what do I need to add to it? What do I need to subtract from it? So, and please, I beg you, don't ever use flash. That makes the worst looking picture that you ever saw, whether it's people or food or anything else, right? Unless you're in a thing at night and you're shooting some people, and that's when, these kind of little lights by your phone will light up the person, but, and give you the ambience of the room. But with food photography especially, you don't ever want to use any kind of flash. So, okay, let's go to framing and composition. Now, I put this in here because, again, this picture, you can see the one on the left looks really blurry, and it looks like a mess because of the way that the fish is positioned with what's under it. And the one on the right is in focus and a different angle. And the different angle makes all the difference in how you show the food. There are different ways of doing different things. And so that's why I have some items to show you, like tacos. I don't know, how many of you sell tacos in here? Nobody? Oh, one person back there. Okay. So if you're shooting a taco, you got to show what's inside the taco, right? So if you shot it from the side, you would see the tortilla, right? You wouldn't, not the tortilla, but the hard tortilla. Anyway, you wouldn't see what's inside of it. And in order to really sell it, you got to show people what's inside of it. The hamburger on the other side looks like a fake burger that they photographed for McDonald's or something. It looks too perfect. It shouldn't look that perfect. It doesn't look like what you're going to get, right? We talked about that. You got to show people what they're going to get. But you can see at that angle, you can see there's meat in there, and that's the whole idea of the slide, is to show what the main part of that meat that dish is, and the main part of a hamburger is the hamburger. So you need to show that. The rule of thirds is a basic photography thing, but you don't need to pay attention to that because you're shooting food, right? You want the dish. You don't really care about the artsy part of it unless you want to be artsy. If you want to be artsy, be artsy. It's okay. But make sure that you get the food in the best way. And let's see. Props and backgrounds. So you're not going to really use props like some of the shots that I've shown you that had some props in it. What you're going to use for props is how it's presented. If it comes on a piece of paper in a basket, or if it comes in a styrofoam container, or whatever it comes in, that's what you're going to show, because that's what they're going to get. So, but even if you're in a styrofoam container, you want to get in really close on the food. You don't want to show too much of that styrofoam, right? So, and then contrasting colors are always good. That's one of the things that looks really good in that taco, is all the contrasting colors that you saw there. We can go back. The red of the tomato really makes it pop. So maybe you have some kind of accoutrements that you serve with whatever you serve, and you could put that on the side. That could be your artsy way of shooting the photo. Okay, next is why some photos don't look appetizing. So this is where I'm going to tell you that even if you're using a cell phone, use a tripod. And this picture really shows you the difference. On the left, it's completely out of focus and unappealing. And on the right, it is in focus. And that's the difference of using a tripod. So even with a phone, you can set it up where the phone's going to take the picture. You don't have to be there, right? You can set it up even on a timer. So always put what you have on a tripod. And you want to, let's see, we'll go back to the slide. You wanted to use the right angle and make sure the dish doesn't look messy like that fish did. And you don't want to show them unrealistic proportions, right? You want to show them what they're going to get. So if they're going to get this much and your picture is this much, they're going to go, well, why didn't I get that? So you don't want bad advertising. You want good advertising. So always show them what they're going to get. And just for fun, I put in here a picture to show you how you can over-edit a picture. Now, that does not look appealing. It's artsy, but it doesn't look like something you want to eat, right? So don't overdo the editing of your pictures. Okay, again, we want to show them what they're going to get. So you want to set expectations and match the food to the actual dish. I can't stress that enough, and that's why I keep saying it over and over again. Excuse me. Authenticity builds trust and reduces refunds or complaints, and you don't want either one of those. So don't use stock photos. Has anybody ever used stock photos for their marketing? No, try not to do that, because the stock photos are not photos of your food. And here again, you're presenting something that's not what they're going to get. Take photos of a real serving size that are real, from your truck. And if you offer the add-ons, show them, but show them separately. Don't put them on top of the food and dilute it with, those kinds of things. So this is a picture of a food truck I shot quite a while ago. And some people ask, should we have people in the picture? Well, this happens to be the owners of the truck, the chef and his wife, and they were lovely people. And this is actually what they serve and how they serve it on this piece of paper. And those were delicious, by the way. Like I said, when I'm done, I eat the food. Yeah. So it's a good example of how to photograph what they're going to get. And it came with 2 buns, and that's what I shot, 2 buns. Right? So, okay. So, social media. So you all use social media. So I think you should have that on your truck, your social media, so they can tag you. If they enjoy your food, that's free advertising for you. So you should have your social media on your truck, or at least on some collateral somewhere around, so that you encourage them to communicate with you on Facebook or Instagram or wherever it is. And I'm going to say, remember, if your food looks like it was photographed in a dark alley during a thunderstorm, maybe just don't post that. I try to add some humor to this, it gets kind of dry. So, okay, so how to get started. Practice makes the best teacher. And that's why I'm doing the portrait studio on the show floor, so that you guys can kind of learn more about angles and light and all that sort of thing. So you want to get some food that you want to just have fun with, whether it's cupcake or something you like to eat, whatever it is. And practice, set up your lighting, see what kind of different placement and angles look the best, take some photos, see what works, change it around, do it again, over and over again until you see what works, and you get a photo that makes you want to eat it, because if you want to eat it, they're going to want to eat it. So that's my takeaway to you. You don't need a $2,000 camera to take a photo that sells your taco or sandwich. You just need decent lighting, a steady hand, a tripod, the self-control not to eat it until you finish taking the picture, okay? Now, I'm going to go to, maybe I'll just say, I hope you feel like you learned something from my presentation, and made you feel a little bit more confident about how to do it, right? Because that's the whole thing. You don't want to hire me. I'm expensive, right? You want to learn how to do it yourself so that you can do it reasonably, and it makes you feel good because it's like, I did that, that's my picture, right? So, okay, so any questions?
Anybody? Anybody?
I got one. So I do sliders instead of
Sliders?
correct.
Okay.
How would you compare that so your audience knows what the slider is? Because there's different versions.
You serve different sliders.
I serve different sliders. I do a smash burger slider.
Okay, so you want to show each kind that and maybe that's what you use for your menu board, or a board you put up that have pictures, to go with your menu.
Most of the time, my question is how much
angle-wise.
smaller is it?
How much what?
How much smaller is it than a burger size-wise?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you're talking.
Hand in there or something.
I mean, typically I show them the bun through the window, right? Repeat, and say the same.
Right. Okay. So if you put something along with it that people could say, this is a fork, or this is a cup, or this is what do you serve it in? Styrofoam thing? Okay. So you don't necessarily want to use that. So find something else to use that they can identify that size.
I put it next to a Coke before.
That'd work, right? Because they're probably going to get a Coke with it anyway after they see that picture, right? So, and then you always want to, like the bun that I showed you from the truck, this. That doesn't necessarily dictate the size of it. I understand what you're saying, but they can see what's in it from that angle. So if you put like behind it, don't put it in front, put something behind it to identify that size that they, like the Coke is a great idea. Because everybody knows how big a Coke can is. Sure. So I would go with that. Anybody else?
More questions?
I have to say that I've been in the industry more on the concession side versus food truck side. And when trailers first came out 40-something years ago, we had
Okay, wait for Bob, because they can't hear you in the back, so.
we used words. So this picture issue is new. And the only way I got my husband to go for a full wrap was we walked into Sam's and they had a 4x8 sheet of Coroplast with a picture of a piece of pizza on it. I said, this is our customer. This is how Sam's is selling them a piece of pizza. And you still want me to write the word pizza. People are lazy. If you sell sodas, use logos. Don't use the word Pepsi, Coke. Don't make them read. They don't read. Use the logo, because they recognize a logo before they will read the word Diet Pepsi or whatever. So this is a newer concept to the industry. Pictures. We had words on our trailers. It said funnel cakes. There was not a picture of a funnel cake anywhere to be had. Now I have pictures on my trailer.
Perfect.
So,
because people want to see what they're going to get.
You have to understand your clientele is very lazy. So in the beginning I had ice cold drinks on my corners, and they would come up and ask for ice cream because that's as far as they would read. and they would ask for ice cream. So I understand that your public is lazy, so the easier you can make it with the pictures and your logos. If there's specific items you're using, Coke, Pepsi, all those, we use the head stickers from the soda systems. Use those versus writing the word.
Yep. She had a really good idea for you as well. So we're all here to share. So this is my first time doing this, and I appreciate you all bearing with me on this. So I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. So. No more questions? I think you're going to save them for trade show floor, and everybody wants to go eat. So I just want to tell you that my husband, who's been so gracious to help out today, is a graphic designer for 40 years, and he is going to do a campfire tomorrow about designing your truck and wrapping your truck, because he's done a lot of those wraps. And we're both going to be in that portrait studio that's right near where the campfire is on the second row. You'll see because I got the lights there. But please come over. Bring your phones, your cell phones. Bring any pictures you have of what you already have that you might want to take a look at, and you can talk with both of us about all of it. Sound good? Thank you.